In the year 4836, the city of Huasha was prospering in its era of cultivation. The bustling utopian city was at peace until an unexpected creature descended, causing chaos and destruction. The giant frog-like creature caught everyone off guard, and the citizens were terrified. Fortunately, the magic squad protectors of the city arrived on the scene to handle the situation. While they battled the monster, a carefree boy named Wang Ling roamed the city. Zhu Yi, one of the members of the magic squad, spotted him and saved him from danger. He then advised Wang Ling to go home and stay safe while he rejoined the scene. Fast forward to the present day, when a statue of Zhu Yi stands at the entrance of the school in Huasha, commemorating his heroic deed of defeating the giant frog and saving the city. Wang Ling, a freshman in high school, was being bullied by senior students for his lower force level. However, Sun Rong, a magician with a high force value, intervened and offered him help. Unfortunately, Wang Ling embarrassed Sun Rong and left her alone. Later, a test to measure the freshman's force levels was announced. Using the incarnation of the giant frog, one by one, the students entered the arena to be assessed. Sun Rong came out with a score of 2019, which made the school cheer for her. Then, it was Wang Ling's turn to take the test. Seeing him, the frog grew worried, and it was revealed that Wang Ling was the boy saved by Zhu Yi. Furthermore, he harbored an infinite force value that he had hidden. He was the one who defeated the giant frog in the past. With his turn to take the test, he came out defeating the frog with a score of 9 infinity. The school looked on in amazement and doubt. After the test, the first class of summoning spells began. The students attempted to summon creatures, and Sung Wang summoned a skeletal beast. Wang Ling, on the other hand, summoned the frog itself. The teacher then turned the frog into a dog, and the class gathered around it. In the meantime, Wang Ling quietly left the class, leaving behind the memory of his incredible force value and his heroic past. In the world of Wang Ling, extraordinary abilities were not unusual. Even as a baby, he shocked his parents by birthing himself. As he grew up, he discovered he had the power of mind reading and would often use it to stop his parents from arguing. However, at the age of 6, he failed to control his powers, and his family decided to keep a low profile to avoid unwanted attention. Wang Ling's father devised a plan to help his son contain his powers. He applied cultivation technologies to amulets to help him control his abilities. Meanwhile, his mother made sure he took the golden pill regularly to suppress his powers. Wang Ling knew his parents were worried about him, so he tried to stay ordinary at school. However, when the class president election came around, he couldn't resist joining in. Sun Rong and Shenzhou were both running for class president, with Sun Rong attempting to bribe students with gifts. Wang Ling decided to ask for 5 votes for 5 packs of dry ramen, but Sun Rong tried to sway the vote in her favor with an incantation of seduction. As she turned around, she discovered that Wang Ling had left her the golden pill to balance out his bid. She took the pill without realizing its true purpose, causing her powers to drain. Later, during a lesson on the incantation of seduction, Wang Ling wondered if Sun Rong had accepted the golden pill and if she was aware of its effects. He gestured to her, but she misunderstood and took the pill, causing her to fail when called upon to demonstrate in class. Afterward, Wang Ling's teacher talked to Jolie on the phone and described Wang Ling's capabilities at home. Sun Rong was frustrated over whether Wang Ling was a friend or a foe. The students of the class brought their furnaces for a pill refining lesson. Xiao brings a massive copper furnace to impress Sun Rong, but she walks past him and approaches Wang Ling instead. Wang Ling notices a crush spell on her and swiftly pops it, leaving her flustered. The instructor quickly explains how to begin pill refinement, and the students get to work. However, Chen Chao's furnace explodes, and Gu Hao shows off his. The class is dismissed, and Frankie tries to eat Gu Hao's furnace to evolve back into his demon form, but is caught by Wang Ling outside. Meanwhile, Shenzhou runs laps and grows weak as a devil trance takes over him. He becomes insecure and furious over Sun Rong's liking of Wang Ling and stumbles off dazed. Gohan catches Wang Ling with his furnace and demands an explanation. He shoots a purple liquid at him, but it lands in Chen Chao's mouth behind him. Chen Chao collapses, and they take him to the lab to cure him with an antidote before the class resumes. Froggy 2 sneaks into the lab to swallow the furnace, but he is caught again. Wang Ling and Go Han learn about his power to control timelines and use him to speed up the antidote process and administer it to Chen Xiao. Soon, the instructor arrives and Gu Hao attempts to stall her but fails. She finds Gu Hao's perfect pill and Wang Ling's failed one. Gu Hao grows soft, thinking that Wang Ling had swapped to save him. Later, they repaired Chen Xiao's furnace, and a friendship blossomed between the three of them. Sun Rong asks Wang Ling out on a date while Chen Xiao sobs, unaware that she is the target of the Shadow Faction's assassins. The faction senses Wang Ling's powerful presence and attempts to take out their target. However, Wang Ling receives a call from his teacher, causing the assassins to leave when they realize they have lost their target. News of Wang Ling and Sun Rong dating spreads rapidly on social media. Wang Ling is taken to see the joint honorary master Immortal Zhou Yi, who recognizes him as the gifted boy. Zhou Yi falls to his knees and calls Wang Ling master, after which Wang Ling performs his 50 memory erasing spells. The next day, Froggy 2 informs Wang Ling about the assassins, and Wang Ling wakes up from a nightmare of Sun Rong asking him out. Outside his house, Wang Ling finds Sun Rong waiting with bodyguards and limos. Encouraged by his parents, he leaves with Sun Rong for an amusement park owned by her family. Unbeknownst to them, the assassins have arrived at the park. Wang Ling obstructs the assassins while performing his 50 memory erase trick on Sun Rong. Meanwhile, Zhou Yi watches from below and calls the magic squad when he notices the assassins. The assassins climb into the Ferris car with Wang Ling and Sun Rong. Sun Rong recognizes them and stands as a barrier to protect Wang Ling. Wang Ling impressively fends off the assassins, leaving Zhou Yi on his knees in amazement. He then performs his 100 promise spell to lock the memories of the day as a secret in Sun Rong's memory, rather than erasing them and sealing them away. One night, the leader of the Shadow Faction was furious and issued a shadow kill order for Sun Rong. The next day at school, Sun Rong catches up with Wang Ling, Chen Shun, and Gu Hua, and they are briefed by their teacher about the protection order for Sun Rong. Zhao Yi claims to have intercepted the assassins yesterday as instructed by Wang Ling, and the school is put under tight security with bodyguards, security guards, and the 7-star squad. Despite the measures, 3 of the Shadow Faction assassins, Chu Fang, Xiu Ying, and Xu Xian, infiltrate the school and head towards the kids. Xu Feng is spotted on camera by Zhou Yi in the office while the kids are too carefree and busy on their phones. Xiu Ying is intercepted by the teacher and trapped, while Xu Feng is intercepted by Froggy 2, who sucks out his spiritual and life essence. Xian, the strongest of the assassins, prepares with his powerful hammer and invisibility inside the office. Meanwhile, Wang Ling gets a notification for his dry ramen delivery and heads outside. He swiftly sees through Xian's invisibility, upon which Tian grows agitated and furiously decides to drop everything and attack Wang Ling. He strikes Wang Ling with all his force, but his hammer is useless against Wang Ling's infinite force. Xian's hammer cracks like a weak little egg against Wang Ling's head, and the assassination fails again. Zhang Jie runs out exclaiming the victory of his master, but Wang Ling once again erases his memory and instructs him that he's the one who defeated Xu Xian. Sun Rong, Chen Xiao, and Go Hao come out to find Wang Ling injured in Zhou Yu's arms. Wang Ling was at home, pretending to be on sick leave inside a high-tech healing machine provided by Xiang Wang. While he was inside, Xiang Wang and the boys came to visit him and brought a chicken blood injection that would fuse Xiang Wang and Wang Ling's spiritual forces, helping Wang Ling to heal better. Shen Chao then revealed a spiritual testing wristband that was sent by their teacher for Wang Ling to take part in, along with the others. Xiang Wang insisted on Wang Ling taking the injection before the test, but Wang Ling denied it, saying that he was feeling much better. Shen Xiao explained that this test was different from the entrance assessment and measured the spiritual power connected outside of an individual's body, which was a true measure of cultivation force in another faction at the Shanghai school. Meanwhile, at the other school, students tested their spiritual forces, and Tong Jingjie scored a striking 4379 and led the top 10 list of spiritual forces in the city as the students cheered for him. Back at Wang Ling's house, Gu Hao and Xiang Wang took their turn to test their spiritual forces. Gu Hao scored a measly number, while Xiang Wang scored a 4015 and took second place, despite placing his energy in outer space. However, Wang Ling was detected by the wristband and ended up at the top of the list with a null score. At Song High School, the students noticed Wang Ling's score and wondered if there was a bug in the system. Later, Wang Ling, together with Gu Hao, attempted to hack the Cultivation Council School League system. Unaware that Tang Jingjie was also hacking in the hopes of finding out Wang Ling's score, Gohan recognized the arrogant Tan Jin, but ended up clumsily alerting the system alarm, and both hackers quickly exited. Tang Jingjie failed to find out Wang Ling's score. However, Gu Hao changed Tang Jingjie's name to Tang Birdie 2 before leaving, which didn't sit well with him. After improving their scores, Song Rong and Wang Ling have raised their faction's average to the point where they are now eligible to compete against the Songhai faction's 59th school in the upcoming sword fighting competition. Meanwhile, Tang Jingzi has been practicing at the arena, which is now known as Tang Birdie 2. During an interview, he challenges Wang Ling and Song Rong, claiming that he and his team are ready to give their rivals a run for their money. Miss Pan objects to allowing freshmen to participate in the competition, but Zhou Yi manages to charm her into letting them join. Froggy 2 is also added to the team, making it a group of 5. With a score of 5,000, they surpass Tang Jingzi, who is once again humiliated. After school, Wang Zeikong, the teacher, creates a WeChat group to inform Chen Chao, Song Rong, Froggy Gu Hao, and Wang Ling of their selections for the competition. Excited and proud, the students shared pictures of their impressive swords in the group chat. Chen shows off his massive sword, given to him by his father, while Gu Hao proudly displays his. Sun Rong surprises everyone by revealing that she has multiple outstanding spirit swords. The group presses Wang Ling, asking if he has a sword of his own, to which he unimpressively replies with a simple yes. Back at Xiang High School, Tang Jingzhang is determined to beat the faction of 60 participants and suggests including a mysterious and supposedly powerful man named Haibu Fang in their team. Haibu Fang beats up the students assigned to call them for the competition, but is left curious and wondering why they need him to compete. Wang Ling contemplates whether he could use his powers in the upcoming sword fighting competition against the Songhai faction. He searches for a sword and goes to his parents, who are too busy watching TV to help. Suddenly, breaking news reports an explosion at the Shadow Faction's headquarters, which is being cleared by the Immortals. Wang Ling climbs to the attic to retrieve his spirit sword, a little boy, but as the sword awakens, his force suppression talisman is weakened. The next day, the students and teachers gather to leave for Faction 59. Wang Ling brings his tiny sword and is laughed at by the other students. He secretly plans to play sick and quit once they arrive. However, Joy is informed of an issue and arrives at the news of the Immortals capturing the boss of the Shadow Faction, but it turns out to be a decoy, and the real boss chuckles in her car. Satisfied that she has removed the impediment between herself and her target, she follows the students to Faction 59. On the bus, Wang Ling's spirit sword awakens, and he bribes him with dry ramen to stay low upon arrival. The students are received coldly by Faction 59's team, and their teacher, Miss Ga, who also has a rivalry with Miss Pan, evaluates Wang Ling's force value with a trick. The trick triggers Wang Ling's talisman of force suppression, causing a huge blast. Wang Ling fails, and Xian rushes to cradle him, while Tang Jingzi wonders if it's Haibu Feng's work. Meanwhile, Xio Yi has nullified the Shadow Boss's blast, and as well, she receives news of her failure. But after witnessing Sun Rong's affection for Wang Ling, she leaves with a new plan in mind. Sun Rong then follows Wang Ling, who has been carried inside on a stretcher, but they are stopped by Tang Jingzi. This leads to a taunting tussle between the two teams, and Tang Jingzi mockingly guarantees Wang Ling's care. However, things take a strange turn when Wang Ling mysteriously bursts into purple flames. Michi quickly reacts and extinguishes the flames with bandages. Sun Rong draws out her sword, but their teacher, Wang Zukong, interferes, and Michi also disciplines her students. Later on, Haibu Feng witnesses the scene at the infirmary, and the medic finds an empty shroud of bandages. Wang Ling has escaped and informs his father about the talisman, who rushes to his aid. They decide to meet outside, and the students arrive at the competition area where Haibu Feng appears and offers Sun Rong to join them as their 5th member with a rose. However, Sun Rong denies the offer. Chen Zhao attacks after seeing Haibu Feng and Noisen Rong, but Haibu Feng retaliates and annihilates Chen Chao's arm with his powerful negative force in an attempt to get outside Faction 59. Wang Ling enters the arena just in time to save Chen Chao. but he ignores Haibu Feng, enraging him. Haibu Feng punches Wang Ling, only to find him void of any force. But he is surprised when Wang Ling swiftly takes his rose and passes it to Sun Rong, unknown to the other students. Meanwhile, the Shadow Boss hangs from the arena ceiling, watching. Somewhere, Zhou Yi realizes the Shadow Boss's location and rushes to Faction 59. Haibu Feng finds the Shadow Boss and tries to charm her, but upon turning him down, he calls her old. Haibu Feng soon regrets his actions. Wang Ling, who has excused himself from the team to go get his ramen delivery outside, walks into Haibu Feng being beaten by the Shadow Boss. The Shadow Boss kidnaps Wang Ling and Haibu Feng, leaving everyone else stunned and uncertain of what will happen next. The Shadow Boss assigns her driver to guard them, then stomps on Wang Ling's head, provoking his negative energy and compromising his talisman. However, the little sword boy distracts Wang Ling by reminding him of a dry ramen discount. Meanwhile, the boss plans to lure Sun Rong out by using Wang Ling as bait, and disguises herself as Haibu Feng to tell the others that Wang Ling has been kidnapped. Haibu Feng tries to butter his way to freedom, but underestimates the powerful spirit of the infantry, who brings the news that the attractive Shadow Boss is the kidnapper. Upon hearing this, Team 60, led by Sun Rong and her guards, leaves to rescue Wang Ling. Maichi advises her students to observe them in a real battle before the competition, while Tong Jingzi doubts Haibu Feng's decoy status. Soon, Sun Rong and her guards arrive to engage in combat with the driver, but Haibu Feng is stomping on the floor below. Sun Rong rises to face off with the driver alone, but is overpowered by the Golden Cavalry. Just as Sun Rong is about to be defeated, Wang Ling turns back time and takes care of the driver, with Xiaoyi already present to take credit for helping. With the competition being called off, Wang Ling leaves the real Haibu Feng under the care of his sword spirit. However, the Shadow Boss joins the 59's team as Haibu Feng. On the day of the competition, as teams entered the arena, Wang Ling's father finally arrived, but it was too late. He is received by Xiaoyi, who informs him about the broken talisman. It's revealed at the start that Wang Ling's talisman blocks both his force and emotions. During the competition, Isabel's hacking skills led Team 59 to land together at the Altar of Earth. She also manages to locate everyone except for Wang Ling, who lands in the same area as them but is eliminated by Tong Jingzi. However, Wang Ling survives due to the substitute dolls that give him life. Team 59 then splits up to combat Team 60 while capturing the Altar of Earth. Haibu Feng lands near Froggy 2 and captures the Altar of Fire, while Gu Hao follows Liang Fi, who is heading to eliminate Wang Ling at the Altar of Wood. At the Altar of Metal, Chen Xiao loses to Isabel, who deploys a nervous system interfering spell, making him hurt himself. She then seizes the altar, and the announcement of Team 59's seizure is heard across the arena. Meanwhile, at the Altar of Water, Tong Jing's intercepts Sun Rong and is joined by Haibu Feng. It is revealed that the Tong and Sun families have had rivalries with each other. Tong Jing's uses his snow-blowing trick and successfully obstructs Sun Rong's efforts to battle. But before Sun Rong is defeated, a loud blow is heard, and Liang Fei shoots across the sky and gets eliminated. The huge impact causes the ice to break, and Sun Rong escapes. Team 59 is now one man down. Tong Jing's seizes the Altar of Water and tells Haibu Feng that he doesn't know who he is, but if he supports him, he'll help him get whatever he wants after the competition. Upon capturing a fifth altar, Team 59 is awarded a speed-up bonus, but it halts as the announcement of their capture of the Altar of Wood makes its way into Xiang Wang's earpiece. Gu Hao announces that Wang Ling has merged with Froggy 2 at the Altar of Wood. As the competition progresses, tensions rise between Gu Hao and Wang Ling. Gu Hao engages in a battle with Liang Fei, using his mouth cannon spell. Meanwhile, Wang Ling idly sits by and does nothing. Gu Hao starts flinging insults toward Wang Ling, triggering his emotions. As Wang Ling loses control of his force, negative energy erupts, and Froggy 2 bites him to devour his energy. But instead, Froggy 2 merges with him, creating a spirit being that's insanely powerful. Wang Ling then slightly touches Liang Fi, sending him flying and getting him eliminated. The members of Team 59 panic as they realize they underestimated Wang Ling. However, Tong Jingzi devises a plan to avoid Wang Ling and keep watch over the altars while rotating. He deduces that since they lost a member, they'd lose altars if they move to combat Team 60 and would ultimately succumb to Wang Ling. Meanwhile, Guo Hao and Wang Ling unite to seize the altar of metal. Realizing that Wang Ling has flipped the game, Chen Xiao hugs Wang Ling, spreading a smile across his face, and Wang Ling's father tears up seeing his son smile for the first time. However, Team 50 quickly retrieves the altar and flips the score back to 4-1. Sun Rong drops in and decides to put down a plan to combat Team 59 and their strategy. Wang Ling realizes he can't win the game alone with brute force, so Sun Rong, together with Guo Hao, controls the waters and distracts Liang Zheng, attempting to take the altar of fire. Meanwhile, Wang Ling reaches the altar of water and seizes it. At the altar of earth, fake Hai Bufang chuckles as he remembers his promise to make Team 59 win and sets off to act. As Hai Bufang approaches, Chen Xiao guards the metal altar. They clash again at the altar of fire, while Guo Hao and Sun Rong battle Liang Zhang for seizure. Guo Hao throws a mouth cannon, but Liang Jiang trips and causes the cannon to miss and hit Sun Rong, who is trying to seize the altar. At this moment, Tong Xingzai arrives and sees Tong Jingzai. Sun Rong is reminded of their family rivalry and refuses to lose. She tries to land a sword on the altar, but fails because she needs to hold it to seize it. Tong Jingzai mocks Sun Rong over Team 60's dire situation, and he sends Isabel to keep an eye on Wang Ling at the altar of water. At the altar of metal, Chen Xiao does his best to avoid Hai Bufang's blows. As advised by Sung Wang, he falls weak and desperately tries to stop Hai Bufang. Guo Hao sees the sensitivity of the situation and decides to unleash his sword's power. Sun Rong's sword spirit also combines with Guo Hao's sword spirit, creating two powerful spirits. The mighty arm spirit helps Chen Xiao suppress Hai Bufang, while the fire phoenix spirit blows Tong Jingzai and Liang Zheng off, giving Sun Rong victory. Tong Jingzai realizes that Sun Rong is no longer an insecure girl, as the announcement is made of Team 60 taking the altar of fire. Surprisingly, at the same time, the announcement is made of Team 60 taking the altar of wood from Team 59. Team 60 is nearing victory, and Chen Xiao, who was losing to a foundation student, has finally broken through her disguise and raged. Sun Rong's plan was the key to Team 60's victory. She instructed Wang Ling to separate from Froggy 2 and float over to the altar of wood, while Froggy 2 remained at the altar of water in Wang Ling's disguise. Isabel was keeping a watch, and sensing the obvious victory, Guo Hao headed to Chen Xiao at the altar of metal, while Sun Rong headed toward Wang Ling at the altar of wood. Wang Ling was on the brink of losing control of his negative energy, but Froggy 2 sensed the urgency and headed towards him. Despite being desensitized to the world from a young age, Sun Rong's light and the guy's company revived Wang Ling's emotions, and he developed feelings for Sun Rong. Just as he was about to give up, Sun Rong appeared, and they seized the altar together. Meanwhile, Guo Hao found Chen Xiao seriously injured, and an uproar broke out among the teachers, questioning student protection. Suddenly, the shadow boss emerged from behind Sun Rong and knocked the soul out of her body. This was the last straw for Wang Ling. Froggy 2 arrived in time and froze time to stop Wang Ling from erupting, but he broke through and went all maniac on the shadow boss, continuing his onslaught. Just as he was about to kill her, he remembered Sun Rong and regained consciousness, leaving the boss begging for death. Froggy 2 explained that Sun Rong was warm and breathing because he had stopped time. If time flows, Sun Rong will pass away, and it's impossible to bring her back. Wang Ling mourns over Sun Rong and decides to restart the world for the sake of saving her. Wang Ling had already restarted the world 4 times, but nothing seemed to change the events leading to Sun Rong's death. In desperation, Wang Ling turns to Froggy 2, who reveals his power to control time. Wang Ling begs Froggy 2 to turn back time, but this would require a massive spiritual force. Undeterred, Wang Ling merges with Froggy 2, and they turn back time. When Wang Ling wakes up, he finds himself on his first day of school. Everything seems familiar, but he experiences visions of Sun Rong and moments of déjà vu that confuse him. It turns out that the merged forces of Wang Ling and Froggy 2 have created a new world that is slowly destroying the old one. Meanwhile, Sun Rong has entered the underworld, and the god of the underworld realizes the destruction that the world will face. He decides to send Sun Rong back to the land of the living, and she is revived. Longling's spirit sword explains everything to Sun Rong, and they decide to destroy the new world to save the old one. In the new world, Wang Ling goes to heavenly paradise, but he feels overwhelmingly empty. As Sun Rong makes cracks in his world, he suddenly remembers her, and she manages to destroy his world and wake him up. They are reunited, and time turns back, bringing everyone back into the games. This time, Wang Ling knocks out the Shadow Boss before things spiral out of control. Faction 60 rejoices in victory, and Sun Rong as well. She runs over to Wang Ling, but they are stopped by the interviewers. Wang Ling's father finally arrives with the talisman, but he has to make a choice. He can accept the talisman and go back to having dormant emotions, or he can have a relationship with Sun Rong. He chooses world peace. Wang Ling's spiritual force had been barricaded, but with the Earth restored, it was once again free. However, his attempts to restart the world had depleted the Earth's spiritual force. At school, Mrs. Pan announced a spiritual test to elevate the students to the class elite. Wang Ling's friends believed he was a new and offered to help him pass the test, while he quietly slipped away to the restrooms. There, Gu Hao asked Wang Ling to join forces and forge magic pills to help them both pass the exam. During the test, which evaluated students through the striking of a thunderbolt, Wang Ling and Gu Hao forged pills in the lab. While they were pretending to dry their soaked uniforms, Miss Pan caught them, but they managed to evade her. However, in an attempt to hide the pills, Gu Hao swallowed them, causing himself to bloat. Wang Ling smacked him, causing him to deflate, and Gu Hao passed his spiritual slap test. When it was Wang Ling's turn, he stepped on the elevation, and his force began gathering. Dark clouds engulfed the city, causing a blackout. Sun Rong, together with Instructor Wang, tried to unplug the arena and grab Wang Ling's sword, but the sword's force caused a crack in the layers of the earth, exposing it to a deadly world. The Emperor of Dune was furious about the crack in the human world and the absence of Froggy 2, whom he had sent to present him with the human world and its forces. He sent his counselor to investigate, and the poor dog was so scared that he immediately defecated when he received a notification of the counselor's arrival. Froggy 2 decided to hide at Wang Ling's house to avoid the counselor, who started looking for him. After dinner, Wang Ling's father and Froggy put a new talisman on him to help him with his speech. However, they messed up, and Froggy 2 consumed the burst, making it hard for the counselor to track him as his force sword. Later, Mrs. Pan arrived at their home regarding Wang Ling's poor progress. Just as she complained, Wang Ling started behaving strangely, making his father realize the faulty talisman. Wang Ling's parents nervously decided to distract Mrs. Pan long enough for his father to fix the talisman. Despite swapping the talisman, household objects started absorbing Wang Ling's life force using the extra source that Froggy 2 consumed. Wang Ling controlled them, but his talisman started breaking down just as the counselor finally tracked Froggy 2 down since his energy had depleted. Now, the minute the counselor opened the front door, Wang Ling's force burst through, making the poor man throw out the hill that melted into a puddle of lava. The family successfully bid a satisfied Miss Pan goodbye, unaware that they had saved the poor dog. It was a day saved by this weird family. At school, the students are discussing the disappearance of Idol Beauty, the world's top assassin. After a swordliner crash, Miss Pan introduces a new student, Lin Xiaoyu, who Wang Ling finds oddly familiar. Meanwhile, Instructor Wang and the Magic Squad follow Yu, the sister of the former Shadow Faction leader, and trap her as she enters the school. While the boys wander around, they spot Yu walking through a messy room and accidentally fall into a ground compartment after arguing and behaving like perverts. Yu arrives before the imprisoned Shadow Boss, not to save her but to take revenge for her sister's crash and the loss of her position as Shadow Boss. Wang Ling manages to bring them to a secure room and realizes that Froggy's arrival 10 years ago caused the swordliner crash. Just as Yu is about to kill the boss, Instructor Wang arrives, saving her and revealing that she is his idol Beauty, whom he has been waiting for Yu all these years. The two have a passionate reunion. After conducting a class on sword maintenance, Instructor Wang and his lover led the students to a sword maintenance shop. There, they are surprised to find Lin Xiaoyu working, and she shares that she works at spiritual places, hoping to meet her lost sister, a sword spirit. Unbeknownst to her, she has no means to own a sword. After she leaves, the group stays behind and decides to forge a new sword for Lin using Wang Ling's twisted sword design, made unique with the crown of the devil counselor that Wang Ling had melted. The result is a new sword that brings Lin Xiaoyu to tears. As they enjoy the moment, Tang Birdie appears and degrades the friends, declaring that his family owns the shop. He calls Lin Xiaoyu forward for a trial of her ugly sword, using his snowblowing technique and sword spirit. Tang Birdie's sword spirit seems strong before he strikes Lin Xiaoyu's sword, which starts feeding off his spiritual force and his sword's force. In a flash, Wang Ling's sword slashes through, breaking the connection. The friends rush in, believing that Lin Xiaoyu is safe, but Tang Birdie falls to the ground, shriveled. It's autumn reunion day, and students are exchanging socks to offer well wishes. However, school restrictions make it difficult for Sun Rong to give hers to Wang Ling. As she wanders, Lin Xiaoyu suggests that Sun Rong give it to Wang Ling after school. That night, Sun Rong asks Wang Ling out but is disappointed when Chen Chao and Gu Hao show up as well. They talk about their fear of the dark, and while they are scared, Chen Chao and Gu Hao keep getting spooked. Unbeknownst to them, it's the shadow boss breaking out of prison and bursting through the toilet. She scares the two enough to make them collapse. However, Wang Ling flushes her back down. The shadow boss tries to come back up from the elevator, but Wang Ling and the guys burst her down. Finally, Sun Rong offers her sachet to Wang Ling, but Lin Xiaoyu appears and punches Sun Rong away. Due to the counselor's crown in her sword, Lin Xiaoyu has been possessed by the counselor. He grabs Sun Rong and tries to suck her into the doomsday world. However, the shadow boss springs up, screaming that Sun Rong's sword is hers to take care of. In a flash, Wang Ling sweeps through and takes Sun Rong with him, while Shadow Boss punches the counselor instead, getting him sucked in. Doubling over, Wang Ling punches the poor Shadow Boss into a wall and lays Sun Rong down gently, accepting the sachet. Zoe discusses with the top predecessors of the human race the decreasing spiritual force and the crack that connects to the demon world, which is allowing more and more demonic influence. The highest predecessor concludes by ordering the capture of a demon to use as a means to enter the demon world. At school, Chen Chao's father punishes him in front of everyone for giving his spiritual energy to a streamer fairy fox that he has become obsessed with. Wang Ling and his friends worry that the fox is actually a demon in disguise, sucking his force through the internet. They find him giggling in a computer room connected to the fairy and notice that heat is shriveling up. Gu attempts to break the server but fails. Soon, Chen's father arrives, seeing his son in a trance, and angrily slices the computer itself. Chen Chou grows restless and desperate to be reunited. His body lets go of his soul, and he zaps into the server and out through the fairy's computer. With her mission successful, the fairy finally morphs into its true demon form, making Chen Chao realize his mistake. It looks like he is finally coming to his senses. Back at school, his friends and father desperately try to revive him. Soon, Wang Ling manages to make contact and reaches out to Chen just in time. His fist comes out of the screen, punching the demon off and grabbing poor Chen back to his body. That night, the news reported the bankruptcy of Sun Rong's father's group. Sun Rong's family moves into their ancestral property of Mount Flower Fruit after experiencing bankruptcy, and they start living a primitive lifestyle. What they do not know is that their misfortune is the result of the Tang group of Tang Jingzi, the Sun group's rival. The two groups worked with a demon disguised as Uncle Richmond to bring down the Sun Group stocks until they were bankrupt. However, the flower fruit spiritual vein is still alive, and the Tang Group seeks to destroy it entirely. On their way back to the train from Sun Rong's, Wang Ling and the group saw breaking news reporting the upcoming takeover of Sun Group by the Tangs through a blood-borne contract between Sun Rong and Tang Jinzei in a ceremony. Realizing what is happening, the friends run back to Sun Rong's, but they face Tang Jingzi's squad. While the others fight them, Wang Ling manages to reach the ceremony. He arrives and snatches Sun Rong away, but Sun Rong remorsefully stops him, revealing her will in the contract. She returns to the ceremony, and as Wang Ling and the injured Chen Chao, Ling Xiaoyu and Go Hao retreat, defeated, Wang Ling notices bubbling in the water below. He jumps in and grabs a demon, Uncle Richmond, who is sucking at the spiritual force vein of the Sun Group. Wang Ling whips it out, abolishing it immediately, causing the Sun Group stock to shoot up in the market. Employees run in and stop Sun Rong before she can sign, and Xiao Yi arrives to arrest the Tongs for their corruption. The Songhai Spiritual Sword Art Assembly holds a competition that allows students to display their sword skills in front of judges. Sun Rong, the first contestant, performs her ocean dance but loses control of her sword, causing the judges to stop her performance. Despite her mistake, the anchor decides to continue the show, and the next two contestants face the same issue, with Chen getting hurt in the process. As the performances generate spiritual force, Richmond, a demon, feeds on it. Sun Rong jumps in to control it, and the two receive great applause. Richmond unleashes his ultimate control, but Wang Ling appears, claiming he has manipulated the magic formation, causing everyone to be under Sun Rong's control. Under the influence, the anchor punches Richmond through the roof, ending his reign. However, Sun Rong cannot control everyone, and they turn into evil dummies. Obsessed with capturing Sun Rong, soulless and evil dummies start crawling towards her, following Wang Ling and Lin Xiaoyu as they hide in a tower. Relentlessly, the dummies pile up in an attempt to reach them. In the midst of this, a tranced Chen races towards Sun Rong, declaring his love, which she rejects. His heart burns as he falls to the roof, breaking the trance. He realizes that disappointing the heart is the key to breaking the trance. To broadcast Sun Rong's message to everyone, they decide to find a way. However, the nearest tower crashes under a meteor thrown by Richmond, who also takes down Shadow Boss. Sun Rong just can't catch a break from her bad luck. Chen Xiao and Lin Xiaoyu stay back to fend off the horde of evil dummies, while Wang Ling and Sun Rong escape on a train to the Fort Sky Loop up in space. Upon her arrival, Sun Rong effectively broadcasts her message, announcing that her love is for only one man, leaving everyone wondering who that is. As the hearts break, the dummies calm back down to their original human selves. Meanwhile, up in space, Richmond grows mad and turns into his true self, shooting a massive meteor towards Earth in an attempt to annihilate it. However, Wang Ling whips out his sword and turns the meteor into a beautiful shower, killing Richmond. As the meteor shower lights up the sky, Sun Rong and Wang Ling have an almost romantic experience. The students arrive at BP Animations, where the boss shows them around. Just then, the producer rushed in, informing the boss that the director had run off due to being overburdened. Panicking as to what to do now, the boss decides to give the inexperienced students a chance, bewildering the producer, who begs otherwise. However, the boss goes along with this plan, explaining the animation process to the students. Given the opportunity to act as acting directors, the students huddle around the animators, watching them create beautiful pieces. Chen Xiao criticizes one of the animator's frames, making him furious and emotional. The animator unleashes his art of liver bursting and draws at a manic speed before collapsing. Moving on to another animator, they manage to anger him as well. Finally, they come to the art section and meet Mr. Zhu, an extremely worn-out animator. The doodle he's working on literally looks like a mummy. While fussing around, a student accidentally unplugs his monitor, making him lose progress. The work of a man's lifetime is turned to ash. The students then decide to animate on their own. However, despite Wang Ling's help, their sketches get rejected by the supervisor. Defeated, and with key workers collapsed, together with the Earth's depleting spiritual force, the atmosphere turns slow and gray. Wang Ling decides to go back in time to talk to the director and straighten him up. In the present, the director finally arrives, normalizing the operations and returning the atmosphere to its previous, even more beautiful state. This episode takes us back to episode 9 in the Doom World, where the Demon Emperor recognizes Wang Ling as his true opponent. With Richmond's death, the Emperor orders the Counselor to trap Wang Ling and Sun Rong at Fort Sky Loop and commence the battle on Earth. Wang Ling and Sun Rong become trapped in a spatial dimension that turns them into 3D resolution, and portals start opening on Earth, unleashing demons into the world. In an urgent meeting, all senior practitioners come together, and Zhou Yi announces a plan to use the school's spiritual test arena to destroy the portals with a powerful practitioner's force. One member of the group, an erratic man, volunteers to fight outside, and he stands on the elevation, summoning his force to annihilate the demons. However, this effort goes in vain when multiple portals appear, floating giant pods that hold thousands of airborne demons. One of these pods crushes the poor man up on the fort, and Sun Rong feels helpless as she sees the earth turn red in Bedlam. Fortunately, Wang Ling finds a way to break through the spatial trap by putting mirrors before each other, disrupting the frames and returning to normal resolution. He leaves Sun Rong in the safety of the fort and shoots over to Earth, where all hope seems lost. Zhou Yi helplessly spectates the scene when he spots Wang Ling. However, before Wang Ling can wipe out the unwelcome critters, Lin Xiaoyu appears behind him in a butterfly outfit and zaps him to nothing. Lin Xiaoyu reveals that she is a member of the butterfly race, a race that was wiped out by the Demon Emperor, just like many others they had destroyed and invaded. She appears before the emperor with Wang Ling, begging him to keep his promise of returning her sister. On Earth, Sun Rong delivers another excellent speech through the fort, encouraging the human race to march out of hiding and fight the demons with confidence and courage. Meanwhile, in the demon world, Wang Ling has imprisoned the emperor. However, the emperor has no idea what Wang Ling holds. Wang Ling unleashes his full force and defeats the emperor, who questions why humans, such an insignificant race, are so stubborn. As the emperor distracts Wang Ling in conversation, the counselor sneaks behind him and removes his talisman, which he thought was his weakness. This causes Wang Ling's energy to flood, bursting the demon world like a bubble and removing all demons and chaos from Earth. After returning to Earth with Lin Xiaoyu, Wang Ling forgives her and asks her to quickly call his father to bring the talisman. As Earth settles back into a state of peace, the people believe that their courage defeated the demon. Zhao Yi once again poses as the hero, and rumors of a mysterious hero persist as Wang Ling continues to live a simple life. The overpowered hero and immortal king Wang Ling is served a delicious noodle meal, but Wang accidentally breaks his chopsticks due to his immense strength. The city of Shanghai is shown to be recovering from the demon invasion, but a monster suddenly appears seeking refuge on Earth after Wang destroys the demon world. Our hero prepares to defeat the beast, but a mysterious girl named Yoshiko Kumiya appears and kills it with her chopper missiles. At school the next day, Lin Xiaoyu meets with Chen Chao and Gu Hao, who are upset over the resurrection of Faction 60. They explain that they assumed the faction was destroyed and didn't do their homework. In a flashback, we see that Wan was asked to restore Faction 60 with his powers to resume the Cultivator training program. He summons his trusted sidekick, Froggy 2, to get the job done. Sister Sun Rong makes a glamorous appearance in front of her peers, but she is overshadowed by Yoshiko, who is revealed to be a princess from Sunland. Yoshiko immediately challenges Sun's popularity, but Wang shows up, and Sun runs towards him. Yoshiko is from a family of exorcists and has been accused of multiple crimes in the past. Class is about to begin, and Yoshiko's entourage formally introduces her to everyone. The instructor arrives and tells Yoshiko that she has not been allotted to Faction 60. Yoshiko is frustrated and consumes her top researcher with a dragon move. She tries to gain Wang's trust with some yummy snacks from Sunland, but Sun disapproves of her methods. Wang becomes a slave to Yoshiko's allure of tasty treats, and this causes Sun to accept Yoshiko's cooking challenge. The girls organize a fancy cooking competition, with Wang serving as the main judge and the others as the audience. An intense competition follows as Yoshiko creates a plethora of meals, but Sun isn't able to make anything despite assistance from repairs. Yoshiko presents her meal to Chen and Lin, who enjoy it, but Wang is unimpressed. Sun decides to give him his favorite snack, raw, crispy raccoon noodles, and Wang loses his mind after tasting them, unleashing a small fraction of his powers. Sun is announced as the winner of the competition, making Yoshiko angry as she was unable to defeat the most popular girl in her class. In a dream sequence, a frog family eagerly awaits a birthday cake to hatch from an egg. Froggy 2's birthday happens to be on that day, and he immediately wishes to become the Demon King. However, he wakes up from his dream and then receives a call from Wang, who arrives to give him some dog food and wins Froggy's heart with his gesture. Froggy then asks him how to prepare a birthday party, and the next day, they get to work on a surprise party. They take a look at Froggy's list, but don't seem to understand the need for a birthday egg cake. The dog demon arrives at the scene and is immediately taken away by Lin, but he seems to identify the secrecy as a cover-up for his birthday party. Meanwhile, Wang opens up a portal dimension in search of a birthday act and comes across a collection of them. He overcomes some monsters and brings back the biggest one, much to everyone's amusement. Instructor Pan crosses Froggy and Lin, after which she heads to class. The demon dog panics as he fears that Pan might walk in on his surprise preparations. He immediately jumps into the class and spots the egg, but can't find the others. Pan enters the room, so Froggy acts fast and transforms into Master Zhao Yi. Using his new form, Froggy flirts with Pan and sets up a date to send her away drooling with excitement. However, he remembers that the birthday egg might bring about a disaster if baked with the incorrect amount of heat. This is exactly what happens later, and the egg brings forth an army of alien parasites that possess everyone inside. Things look bad, with Sun Rong's security team also getting possessed, but Wang luckily steps in at the right time and takes care of all the monsters in a flash. He kills the main cake demon, and it causes an explosion, thus creating a giant mask. This forces Froggy to reverse the timeline with his powers and drain his life force. Regardless, he feels his sacrifice is worth it and enters the classroom with Lynn, hoping for a proper birthday party. Everyone starts to sing the birthday song, but much to Froggy's dismay, it turns out all these preparations were actually for Lynn and not him. Wong and the group venture into a forest to search for special herbs, but encounter a fierce gorilla lion monster. A chase ensues, during which Froggy gets trapped. The demon dog is nearly caught as well, but a powerful dragon monster appears and burns the gorilla with its flames. They learn from a beast master named Tang Birdie that these creatures are called spiritual beasts, and those who capture them are called beast hunters. Tang explains his hunting desires to the team, but they disagree with his methods. In the midst of their argument, Froggy amusingly orders the team to free him from his trap. They continue on their quest and come across another spiritual beast trapped in a snare. Froggy leads them to an injured unicorn, whom they name Sylvie. They take Sylvie to a shrine to tend to her injuries. Wine uses his powers to heal the unicorn, but their peace is disturbed when Tang and his assistant arrive and demand that they hand over Sylvie, whom Tang had injured with his trap. Guo and Chen oppose this demand, and they challenge the hunter to a beast duel. Tang agrees and sends out his dragon monster to fight Guo. Guo wants to use Froggy, but he refuses. Sylvie steps in and evolves into an overpowered unicorn, defeating the dragon with ease and sending Tang flying into the air. The next day, we meet Yoshiko, the mastermind behind the Beastmaster video game. She takes pleasure in the fact that her app has over 10 million downloads, but her achievements are overshadowed by Sylvie's newfound fame. Guohao wants to bond with Sylvie, but the unicorn only has eyes for Wang, whom he recognizes as his true alpha. Meanwhile, Froggy attempts to suck Sylvie's blood for healing powers, but Wang stops him and places a magical circle around the unicorn. Yoshiko sees an opportunity to kidnap Sylvie when Wang takes Froggy away, but she is hilariously blown away by the protective formation. Later, Sylvie is cuddled by everyone, including Instructor Wang, until Yoshiko comes up with an evil plan to transform the unicorn with a berry ball, turning him into a massive unicorn. This causes panic as Sylvie begins to munch on a tree. Spectre Wang initially vouches for him, but changes his mind when Sylvie takes a giant rainbow dump on top of him. Sylvie is forced to be secluded in a cabin so that she can control his appetite. Yoshiko arrives with her squad and tries to control the beast with her evolution stone, leading to a hilarious sequence where Sylvie eats the stone and the gang tries to retrieve it from him. This triggers the final evolution, turning Sylvie into a vicious monster that breaks free and wreaks havoc all over the city. Gu tries to reason with Master Zhao not to attack his spiritual pet, but is devoured in the process. Wang doesn't want to hurt his unicorn friend, so he removes Froggy's seal, allowing him to transform into his true avatar, the demon frog. However, Sylvie attacks the demon frog using his lightning dash, and Wang allows the unicorn to run into Froggy's belly. Wang shuts his mouth, and the Demon King is forced to absorb all of Sylvie's excess energy, causing the unicorn to revert to his baby form. Froggy spits out Sylvie and the evolution stone, which Wang destroys instantly. Wang fears that humans will treat Sylvie as a monster from now on, so he opens up a portal and takes the unicorn to his own planet, where he can finally live in peace. In a flashback from many years ago, we find ourselves at the Songhai Night Market, where people are enjoying the festivities. A shopkeeper tries to sell a dragon-slaying sword to a customer, but he sees through the deception and takes the shopkeeper's daughter, Ling Ling, away. However, Ling Ling is fascinated by a little wooden sword on the side. Back in the present, our heroes witness a dramatic enactment of the 4 legendary swords. Gu mentions a mysterious swordsman who defeated the epic quartet, but Chen challenges Wang to a duel with his Liko sword. As expected, Wang uses his tiny wooden sword, Jinkit, to defeat Li Chao without hesitation. Meanwhile, Sun's ocean swords accidentally attack Wang and merge with Jinkit. With no other option, Lin takes the team to her sister, an experienced sword maker, who assures Chad that his sword can be fixed. However, Jinkit rushes towards Sister Xiao Yu, and is caressed by her as if she is his mother. She reveals that Jinkit is actually in his awakening stage, which is why he is rebelling against his master. Tao Yi rides with his team and is surprised to see the sword awkwardly stuck to Sister Xiao Yu's belly. Then he reveals that the 7-star squad was defeated by a mystery swordsman in white who was able to bend all their swords. Sensing an opportunity, our heroes rush to the scene where the swordsman is dominating Yoshiko's forces. The princess retreats with her man while Sun and the squad battle the mysterious woman. However, she overpowers them easily as her sword is too strong. Jinkit continues to rebel against Wang, so he can't do much. But when Sister Xiao Yu flirts with him, he springs into action and defeats the mystery woman with one blow. Wang identifies her as Ling Ling and immediately turns her into a sheath for Jinkit. Later, Ling Ling is punished by Sister Xiao Yu for being a naughty girl, while Jinkit watches in amusement. The scene opens with a trained carriage under attack by a team of ninja goons secretly led by Yoshiko, who manages to steal an ancient artifact. However, Master Zhao Yi's dismay turns into amusement when his sensei, Lord Thunder, arrives to show him that he had swapped the artifact for a bomb. Yoshiko and her goons become the victims of a massive explosion. The next day, the witch girl heads to a grand auction while Zhao Yi and Thunder have a brief chat upstairs. They discuss how numerous families are about to bid for the most valuable items in the world, and they wear masks to conceal their identities. Meanwhile, Wang struggles in a card game and faces a humiliating loss when his opponents unleash the 6-armed gorilla roar upon him. He receives a lecture from his opponent for having weaker cards. At the auction, all the families get together and are told about the bidding rules as well as the first item, which is a magical book retaining spells from generations of cultivators. Lord Thunder points out that the book contains the forbidden spell, which is not only overpowered but also unbeatable. As the rich families place millions of dollars on the table, Wang buys a bunch of crispy noodles in hopes of getting more cards. Unfortunately, this doesn't work in his favor. Next, some indestructible long johns catch everyone's attention. Zhou tries to bid for the pants, but is easily defeated by an unknown girl. However, Lord Thunder identifies her as Yoshiko, who is determined to rule the world with the auctioned items. Wang decides to shift his attention to the live auction, where the current item is the sealed white-eyed blue dragon. This is the same artifact that Master Zhao and Lord Thunder were protecting in the first place. Bidding starts at 10 million spiritual coins, and it kicks off a fierce battle for wealth. The wealthy bidders put everything on the line, with Yoshiko seemingly gaining the upper hand with a bid of 40 million. However, to everyone's surprise, Lord Thunder calmly outshines her with 45 million spiritual coins. Zhao offers a hefty 87 million after getting a call from Wang, causing Lord Thunder to lose his mind. Wang eventually outdoes everyone with his winning bid. After the auction, Lord Thunder follows Zhou Yu and learns that Wang Ling is the master, but he is shocked to see the overpowered heroes smash the seal without a care in the world. The legendary dragon makes a grand appearance and offers to fulfill any wish that Wang desires, but he simply chops away the dragon and turns him into a playing card. This allows him to get some sweet revenge on his arrogant opponent. A couple of exorcists were arguing with each other on the road while Gu Hao ridiculed them, thinking that the city was getting worse with such people in it. As a biker passed by, Gu made a comment, but the biker came back, and Gu got scared. He hid behind Wang, but then learned that the biker was actually Chen with a new personality, Trent. Trent came to school and started acting like a weirdo, especially because he wasn't wearing a uniform. Gu Hao asked him to take it easy because it wasn't good for the school environment, but Chen said it was all because he was part of the exorcist team now. Wang Ling asked Chen to look up, and the instructor, Pan, made a scary appearance. She scolded Chen for acting strange despite having good grades, and then Sun also dropped by to ask what was going on. The friends tried to figure out a solution to Chen's difficulties but couldn't go to his dad for help, so they decided to bait the exorcists. They used Sun and her good looks to tempt the exorcist to show their true nature. She walked into an alley looking weak and innocent, and the boys took off their jackets. However, the jackets were used to cover a puddle to help Sun cross through. Gu refused to give in and said that the boys weren't helping a grandmother cross the road. The group thought that the exorcist would rob the granny, but then Chen showed up to help her. It turned out that the granny was actually a demon, and she attacked Chen, so his teammates helped him out. Gu Hao realized his mistake and helped the exorcist defeat the demon with ease. Now both groups agreed on their goals because they wanted to take care of all the demons that had been invading the city recently. However, the exorcists refused to accept Wang Ling into their team because he looked thin and weak and they couldn't guarantee his safety. Shen met Wang later and promised to include him in the team. He explained how he became a disgrace to his family after Wang destroyed his sword in a flashback. Shen got attacked by a demon, and the exorcist ended up saving him from it. Shen went back to his office with Wang, but saw the boys paying off the granny demon because they were all actually conspiring with the monster. Chen was heartbroken to see this and became bewitched after his stick was chopped off by his teammates. Wang didn't like what had happened to his friend, so he decided to teach the exorcist team a lesson. He took the broken stick and used it to defeat all the demons and break down the exorcist's office, all within a matter of seconds. Now that he had smashed the demons, Wang had to deal with Chen, who had lost all his mental awareness and had become possessed by a demon. Chen brutally attacked Wang, but Hero had to be careful not to kill his friend. He slowly destroyed the demon and acted like he had fainted in front of Chen to make him feel as if he had saved him. However, Chen was pretty confused to see the mess around him. The next day, one of Zhao Yi's men, disguised as a property management employee, checks up on a suspicious house. He is told to go away, so Zhao Yi asks his teammate to try another disguise, but that doesn't work either. So Zhao Yi unleashes a bump spout to break open the house. It turns out that multiple demons are living here, and they attack brutally. Luckily, Wang happens to be passing by and savagely defeats all the demons with ease. Zhao Yi's team comes to the scene to save their sensei, but they notice that all the beasts have already been cleaned up. Zhu Yi takes all the credit for Wang's work, but he doesn't know that he's being recorded by a camera monster. After getting a bandage from his assistant, Zhu walks up to a cheering crowd that also includes Wang. He gives a speech on being a member of the 7-star squad and how he was inspired to save Shanghai from the demons. Zhu also explains how he was able to stop the demon world from progressing into the real world through a cracked void. He takes all the credit for Wang's work in the demon house, but the lights go off and some surveillance footage is played to show what had actually happened to Zhao Yi when he was up against the demons. A mysterious woman watches on, and she is believed to be the culprit behind this. Everyone is confused as they learn that the demons were actually defeated by a lightning blast generated by Wang, who was in disguise. The news goes crazy, accusing Zhao of being a fraud, and it causes problems everywhere, including public agitation and residuals. Zhao Yi demands to get to the bottom of this, but his boss tells him to go on vacation, after which he also takes his badge and flies away. This is humiliating for Zuo, but he puts on a brave face in front of his colleagues. However, the squad members seem to enjoy their time without their boss. Zhao Yi has nothing to do now, but he spots a mysterious figure in the rain and goes after him. He is suddenly attacked by some demons and is about to be killed. But then Wang comes to the rescue once again. Zuo learns that the overpowering Wang Lin has been manipulating his memories this whole time and feels like a useless puppet. Now, Wang offers Zhao Yi a blue pill that can make the world forget what has happened over the past couple of days. The other option is a red pill that can grant Zhu his attention, but he takes neither option because he wants to become a hero by himself. Zhao leaves Shanghai, and this works for Yoshiko, who is revealed to be the surveillance culprit from before. Guo asks Chen who he wants to take as his date for the upcoming school festival. Chen is considering Lin, but she accidentally spilled hot food on him before. The duo laughs and suggests Yoshiko, which surprises Chen. Guo says that since no one talks to Yoshiko, Chen has a fair chance with her. The boys decide to go beyond the ordinary, and Chen decides to ask Sun to the gala. As expected, he looks foolish when Sun asks Wang Ling to the gala right in front of him. Both Guo and Chen are rejected by the women they want, but later meet and cry together. At the gala, Wang shows up in his costume while Chen is stuck in traffic. Sun announces that only couples are allowed to pass through the gate and invites Wang via the VIP entrance, trying to flirt with him. Later, Sun invites Wang into her home while her parents are away, but her grandpa is there. An awkward dinner follows, and her grandpa demands to know Wang's intentions. He learns that Wang's dad is a web writer and is angry when he hears about Wang's academic progress. Grandpa wants to banish Wang from the house, but he is reminded of the Sun family's values and calms down. He tells Wang that he must pass 3 trials to become part of the Sun family. They go to an amusement park for the first trial, and Grandpa tops the score. In the archery section, Lord Thunder seduces his victim, but Grandpa stops their romance and gets into an arrow shooting contest with Wang. Wang launches an arrow so fiercely that it rotates around the world before hitting its target. Grandpa feels like a loser and gets angry, so he challenges Wang to a one-on-one battle for the last trial. Sun is afraid, but Wang lifts the Sun family's sacred cudgel with ease, and the grandfather's shocked because its weight is equal to 6,800 kilograms, and he says that only one how could carry it was the first ancestor of the family. Then the grandpa and his men bow down to Wang to acknowledge his greatness. Sun and Wang finally spend some time, but it turns out that the sacred club has been stolen, and Grandpa suspects Wang because he is the only one who can carry it, but the one who took it was Froggy to take revenge on them. Froggy reminisces about a time when everyone ignored his own birthday and celebrated Lin's instead, which made him feel like he didn't belong in this world. In a flashback, Froggy collapses in an alley and is rescued by a fellow demon, which motivates him to take action against the evil human race and convince his fellow demons to join him. Later, Froggy disguises himself as Yoshiko and knocks out the real Yoshiko to retrieve the cudgel, which leads to chaos when chaos resumes and Froggy 2 plans to take over the world. However, he gets scared when Wang shows up and tells the other demons to run away to save themselves. Knowing he can't defeat Wang in battle, the Demon King decides to engage him in a verbal fight using 3 questions. Froggy starts with a math question, which Wang solves effortlessly, shocking Froggy. Froggy then switches to a volume and mass-related question, which Wang almost answers using celestial bodies, but it almost destroys the human world. Froggy tries various tactics to defeat Wang, including turning him into a baby and reversing time, but to no avail. Froggy is transported to a dream world with Wang and cries over his current life, prompting Wang to show him some love. Froggy then asks for his fellow demons to be spared, and Wang creates a new world for them to live in, which pleases Froggy. The demons live in peace, and Yoshiko has a romantic moment with Zhou Ying. Finally, Wang returns Sun's cudgel to Yoshiko, but it's too heavy, causing her to fall into Wang Lin's arms.